By watching this video, you're part of history. Welcome to the very first episode of Huskies TV. My name's Brent Costelloe and I can't wait to guide you through what's set to be an exciting season each and every week here on the show. Now, the Southern Huskies were formed in the middle of last year thanks to successful businessmen Justin Hickey and Mike Sutton. They, along with General Manager Andy Hollands, are the special guests on today's very first episode. And I started out by asking the guys what drove them to start up Tasmania's newest sporting franchise.
Live in Victoria, you see Tasmania get a raw deal on the news a lot. They talk about, especially in the AFL, they talk about Tassie wanting a team in the AFL, that there's definitely the ability from a membership base and a supporter base down here, but it never really happens, and that's probably the biggest stigma, right? That's attached to the Tassie from a sporting perspective, that it's not sustainable, and that it can't work. And I thought, well, having lived down here for so many years, and being in the position to be able to put my hand up and take that Victorian way of doing things, but bring that back down to Tasmania. To implement, a professional basketball team, and now it seems to be 3, potentially 4. It's what I wanted to do. When
the club was formed last July, it quickly resonated with Tasmanians. With 5,000 foundation memberships sold within days, the Huskies branding had well and truly hit the mark.
It's one of those things that can be very difficult to get right. We certainly invested a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money in sort of creating that right feel. Really, it's logos and branding and stuff is probably very much a first look, emotive response to what it is, I think, and the name. And then it probably be Tasmania having not had any sporting teams in the national landscape, and obviously the Tassie Devils being very dear to a lot of people's hearts, and that's understandable. It was a difficult one to sort of get right, I think, and once we gave the backdrop as to why it's more, why it's the Southern Huskies and based around Mawson and combining the whole state, sort of adventuring south into the unknown, I think that resonates so well with people.
It's probably one of 4 logos that that we changed. We changed it last minute. We had another really strong logo that we went with, and then we just from a colour scheme perspective, we decided to go with the current one. And from a branding perspective, the Huskies, we thought what's uniquely Tasmanian. How can we draw on that the cold element, the Aurora Australis. How can we link it into being separatist and being close to Antarctica and something that Tasmania are really proud of. After a lot of back and forth, that's what we came up with.
Despite having thousands of members signed and sealed, the team still had nowhere to play. With the club's hopes of joining Australia's National Basketball League still a few years away, it was decided the Huskies would join New Zealand's NBL.
Crawl before you can walk, and then it's a simple transition over once we've lined up all those ducks to be able to hit the 2020 or 2021 Australian NBL season with a really smooth transition. So the fans know what to expect. You know what to expect from a ticketing. You know what to expect from a pricing perspective. You know what to expect from a game night experience, from community activations and all that sort of stuff. So that's the plan.
The Huskies have also entered 2 teams in the new NBL 1 competition, and they aren't shy about wanting to win.
Oh look, 3 titles. Let's face it, that's what we're going for. Why not? You don't go in a professional competitive environment to come second or come third or fourth. Like the great Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last. So that's our mantra. We're realistic about everything, but at the end of the day, we got to go for 3 titles. That's it.
For those going to a Huskies game night in 2019, you won't be going home disappointed.
What we've tried to do is cater for everyone. So whether or not you're a GA or a level 1 or a premium ticket holder or a courtside seat holder or you're in celebrity row, that there's something from everyone. So as soon as you step out of your car till you step back in your car once the game's done, that it's exciting.
There's going to be musicians. There's going to be things that I haven't seen before. The speed painting. There's going to be just sort of like an atmosphere around the whole stadium, inside and out. You can walk around from the second you arrive at the ground. You're going to have entertainment going on, you're going to have music playing, you're going to have activations everywhere.
That game night production is something the Huskies hope Larry Kesselman and the Australian NBL are watching closely, because that's the competition they ultimately want to play in.
Personally, I think I'm confident that will happen. we've all seen, the media's seen, the NBL and Larry come out and make some great positive statements about Tasmania. So we're observing that like everyone else, and I think looking at the way Larry runs the NBL and his businesses, he's does things in a very, very careful, considered, astute way. That's on common record, obviously. So he'll do that, no doubt, with his process, and we all pull together and do what we know we can do, and put great game night on, put great teams on the courts, have a great fan engagement and great fan experience, and people from all walks of life, whether it's for the dancing squad or whether it's for the music or whether it's for the basketball heads, everyone gets behind it. There's no reason why we can't give that a real crack.
Tassie's definitely on the radar, and that's obviously off the back of what we've done with the Huskies, and he can see that there's sentiment down here, and he can see that we've united the state, and we're playing committed to playing in both north and south. But I think what really needs to happen, from an NBL's perspective, is that we really need to fill the stadiums. If you want an NBL team, you really need to vote with your feet. So that's what we're all about. In the next couple of months is get to the Southern Huskies games. For an awesome game night experience and some really high quality basketball that hasn't been seen from a men's side of things in Tassie for a long time.
It's really awesome to have a project like this to one day hopefully look back on and say how great was that to be involved in. And it's long days, it's lots of moving parts, it's lots of challenges, lots of things we don't know, lots of things we do know, and tying it all together. We can't do it without all the awesome people. We've probably got 40, 30 people involved now, and every day is its own journey, but I couldn't ask for anything else.
Well, there you have it. That's the Southern Huskies' journey to this very day. Well, the season isn't too far away, so if you haven't got your tickets yet, head to southernhuskies.com.au and join the pack today. On our next episode of Huskies TV, we'll be joined by the club's new #1 ticket holder, Tim Payne. Here's a sneak peek.
I just thought it was a good opportunity for me to get involved and support our local team. I think what the Huskies are doing is fantastic for our state, so for me to be able to help in small ways, I'm really happy to do so.
#1 ticket holder Tim Payne joining us next time on Huskies TV. That's all for now. Thanks for your company. I'm Brent Costelloe. See you next time.